Hello, this is a makeup video for a missed meeting of November 21st. And the question I am deciding to answer or expand on is define the meaning of the divine kami, spirits of place, and divine wind. Explain their spiritual positions in Japanese religious contexts, such as their mythical locality and their charm and uncharmed manifestations in different realms, good and evil kami. And so I did from the readings. I knew a little bit about kami, although it's a huge part of Shinto. Um, but just the understanding of kami in depth. There are, I think, like over 300 categories of kami or something like that. And so, what I, in my research, what I found is that kami is another word for God or divine beings, spiritual beings. And I read that particularly two gods, Izanagi and Izanami, um, were sort of part part created, um, in large part like other deities. Um, One of them being Amaterasu, which is the incarnation of the sun, and she came from Izanagi's left eye. So the story of Kami as the deities, it's seen there greatly. Now, Kami is basically spirits living in our actual world. Kamis are not visible to like us. Instead, they are found in in places, in sacred places, and folks use like charm bracelets to maintain this like good energy around them, sort of like to keep the evil kami away. And in order to keep kami happy, um, or positive, folks do prayers, and they have like shrines at home where they do those prayers and they do the chantings, and then they have other festivals or yeah, festivals, where the spirits are called back, and are invited to come back and hang out sort of with their families. It's sort of like the what I noticed is sort of like the version of Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos in Mexican culture. Um, Similarly, we invite those who lived around before us to come back and hang out with us for a day, and then they are sent back where they came from. So there are different festivals that are done through, um, to sort of keep, like from what I read, the kami happy. Um, so again, there's like the part that kami is also this sort of hidden world from us. There, however, we are, or they can bring sort of illness to our lives, to those of us who are alive. And if evil kami comes to you or strikes you, you can either get really sick or just sick, or you can die suddenly. So these are ways, excuse me, these are ways that the kami can affect one's life. And so it is also believed that emperors have some type of close relations to the kami, and they are sort of very special folks to the kami, and that's why they are the emperors. Um, uh, so yeah, I think I touched on all of it. So this is my answer for the kami in modern culture. What when we see a lot is sort of like the anime. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Is this anime Japanese cartoons? You really see sort of how kami affects the characters' lives. I know anime, like watching cartoons, you think it's very childish, but actually, Japanese cartoons have a lot of Shinto tradition in them. I hadn't noticed. I used to watch it when I was in high school, and to sort of look at Shinto now and go back to seeing those, an episode or two of whatever I watched is very interesting. There's also a variation of movies that depict this um, idea of the kami and what the kami is and how the kami actually can look like to those who practice Shinto or rather live with that philosophy. So yeah, bye.